my screen here. So I think I remember you're a geometry student. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I know you've done some proofs, there's two column proofs, S and R. Maybe you're
Mhm.
doing some stuff with triangles. But everything you see on screen, I'm going to send to you at the end as a PDF, which means that you should still consider taking notes, ask questions. It's meant to be interactive dynamic. It's not meant for me to be just talking for the duration of the lesson. So keep that in mind here. I still would encourage you to take notes and be active. Second thing is I'm screen recording. So anything that you see on screen, upload to my YouTube channel, ask that you subscribe, like your videos. It always helps. Hey, why not? They're your videos. Third thing is we can work on whatever you want. Now, I know mom mentioned you've got some Delta math. That means maybe you're sharing your screen. Maybe I'm talking you through problems, or I grab a snip. You take a snip, you send it to me. We can work on whatever you want. Delta math, homework, test review. Doesn't matter to me. You can say, hey, Matthew, I need questions on this topic. I'm here to help you, whatever that is. So keep that in mind. And with that being said, what would you like to work on today?
I would say just proofs. Yeah, because next week, what is it? We have a final exam on proofs, and I'm getting half of it, but there's just some stuff that can still confuse me about proofs.
Sure. So do you have any Delta math proofs that you want us to work on?
I have She handed out a worksheet that
Okay. So
like
you can
only on
text,
proofs.
email, drop that in the chat if you want us to work on that. I'm happy to find proofs, but it's always better if we work on something you want to work on for
Yes,
that.
I was hoping we can work on the proofs worksheet.
Okay. You can send it over, mom can send it over, text, email, drop it in the chat, whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Can you
And
real quick?
Yeah.
the last thing is that
Hi.
hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So we tried to sign into the Zoom meeting through his laptop, but apparently it's his laptop, but the school has some
Yeah.
restrictions on it.
Unfortunately,
So
yeah, no. They're always
yeah,
tight
so
on
we couldn't access Zoom through it. It was weird. So
I've heard that from a number of parents. I don't understand, but that's
I
they're
know it's frustrating. So right now he's using my iPad.
okay.
So can you log into Delta on the iPad? Like, is it just like a regular website where you can just go in and log in?
My login's on my computer,
It
but
is,
I
but
can put it on. I
we
can
can
put it
work on
on.
this worksheet today, and you guys
Yeah.
can figure out that stuff for another time.
So do you think
Uh,
I can, do I take a picture of this
yeah,
worksheet and
you can
text it to you?
text, email, whatever's easiest for you. I can
Okay.
handle anything, and that's why we do the try it out, so we get all the stuff figured out, so you guys know the flow, and then
Right.
you know get more productive in the future lessons.
Yeah, and by next time I will have the Delta, I'll have him access the Delta through my Mac and
Okay,
do the Zoom through my Mac, so he can share his screen and all that.
sounds good.
Let me text you this.
All right, so last thing is I do jump off camera for the lesson. I'll do the same for you, and we'll go to about 5:55, and then we'll talk at the end about how to schedule and some other things. But go ahead and send that over whenever you're ready, and we'll get started.
Sending it. Got it. All right. Sending it now. You should get it soon. Hope it's, yeah. Zoom in, it's good quality.
Yes, I did get a picture here. I'll grab that, upload it on my side. You're welcome to send as much as you want. This is a business phone, so you can load me up with stuff as you need to.
Okay.
All right.
All right, that's uploading now. So I'll grab a snip and we will get started. All right, there it is. Okay, I'm just going to go top left, as if that's okay with you. And
Yes.
so This format works pretty well. All right, so what you're gonna find is that there's a lot of this proof that you actually already have before, even jumping into it. You always start with the givens, right? So how many givens are there in this particular proof?
There's two givens.
There's two, so we know that this other one is here. We don't even need to know what the proof is. We just need to know how to answer it. Now,
Yeah.
question for you is does this actually represent what you get on tests? Like, is your test sort of this fill in the blank, or do you get like
Uh,
a box?
our tests are usually the top right. Like these are like sometimes on there, but like the majority of them are the top right of the piece of paper.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So this is just to help us kind of get started here. We can do
Yeah.
more like the top right. So the other thing here is that when you're looking at triangle proofs, you almost always do this. You almost prove the triangles congruent by SSS, SAS, ISA, AAS, and then that leads to either proving a side or an angle congruent. So like this last step here is probably CP/CTC without us like even knowing what we're doing in the proof. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is that you almost want to like attack proofs from, the beginning and the end, especially if you don't know what to do. You should at least try to get something down. And like I said, you're probably proving the triangle's congruent. So even if you don't know what you're doing, you can at least maybe write a couple of things in there to get more credit towards them. I mean, it's obviously not the best way to do it, but that is a way. And you just kind of, just inch in towards getting the entire proof done. Okay. So having said that, um, number 2 says T is the midpoint of RS. What does it mean for something to be a midpoint?
It's in between the 2 points. So it's between T is between R and S. So it's the midpoint of between R and S.
Okay. So it's typical that that step leads to the next one. And it's also typical that you'll see this word midpoint, definition of midpoint. There's a reason this happens.
Huh?
Did you miss that?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So the midpoint, the fact that there's a midpoint, definition of midpoint is it's very common for the thing that's on the statement side to be the definition of later on. And you
Yeah.
already said it, the T is in the middle of R and S, but what does that mean about TR and TS?
Uh, that's the definition of midpoint.
No, the statement. Statement. What does that mean if T is in the middle? What does that mean about these two segments?
That it's a line segment or something.
So
I,
you ever had a Subway sandwich, 12-inch Subway sandwich?
yeah.
What happens when you cut it in half? What do you know about each side?
Oh, they're both the same
They're
size.
the same. That's what we're saying
Yeah.
here. RT is congruent to TS.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, this is very important. You should label the triangle with that information. Okay. We should also label the triangle with some of the other given information that RU is congruent to SU.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what does 4 say? Tell me what 4 means in your own words, if you don't
Uh,
mind.
that line UT is congruent to line UT.
Okay, so that's kind of the textbook thing, but what does that mean to you?
That what is it? The line that goes to UT is congruent to. It's congruent to something. I want to say it's congruent to the same line, but that wouldn't make sense.
Well, it does. I don't know. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do not.
You do not. Okay, so you're an only. Do you have a family dog? Cat?
N- Neither. We have a
We're
cat.
striking out on analogies here. Well,
Yeah.
let's just say you had a family dog. That's shared, right? This line is shared between both triangles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, So that's what it means when it's congruent. It means it's the same for both. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see?
I'm congruent.
Well, you're reflective, right?
Yeah.
So the reflexive property, not quite the same, but reflexive property.
Because the RUT triangle is reflecting because it's the same side on the other side with the UST. So that line, okay.
Yes. So now we have that side congruent.
Yeah.
What are the four ways that we can prove triangles congruent?
With the ASS, SSA and stuff.
Okay. It's good if you go through them. SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS. Because they mean something. They mean three sides, two sides and an angle between, two angles and a side between, two consecutive angles followed by a side. What do you see here in these two triangles?
Uh, isn't it side angle side or
So what is the angle that is between the two sides that's congruent?
90 degrees?
Where is that given in this problem?
It's on the UT line.
There's nothing drawn there. So you're doing something which is why most students struggle in the course. You're probably right. It probably is a 90-degree angle. It's not explicitly stated that way. Have you taken the SAT or the ACT yet?
I'm no, I'm not taking it this year. I'm a
Okay,
freshman.
so sometimes they give you like these reading prompts and like you want to inject like your own ideas and thoughts into them, and you can't. Like you just can't. You can only use what's there. You can't add to it, you can't subtract to it. So while what you said might be true, there is no 90 degree here. There's nothing given about 90 degrees. There is no 90 degrees here. So you cannot use that. In fact, it's more explicit than that. You have a side, and a side, and a side. So which one is it?
SSS.
Yes. Now, very important is actually to figure out the two triangles. So you can't just choose like any order of letters. You have to choose the correct path of the letters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
All right, why don't you give that a try and tell me what to write here?
Would it would be so for like side, would it be RUT or like
Okay, it's congruent to.
uh SUT?
That does work. All right, any questions on that?
No, I'm understanding so far.
Cool.
All right.
All right. All right, so give me a moment here. So I'd like to do another triangle proof, but you don't seem to have one here.
Yeah.
I guess the one on the right is, let's do the top right one then. So,
uh,
so even though, even though you got to fill in everything, you fill in a lot, like ahead of time. So just like in the previous proof, you should at least be able to give the first statement and reason because it's right here. What is the statement and what is the reason?
the statements ABC it forms a square, like ABC is a square and it's given.
Nope, not square. What does that symbol mean?
Oh, what is it, like a rhombus or
Nope. So that's a huge issue. So most of the time that refers to the fact that it's a parallelogram,
oh yeah.
but that's important. Like if you don't see that, I mean, you got no chance. That's okay. That's why we're doing this practice. Um, I'm just double checking that they don't mean quadrilateral, but yeah, it's typically parallelogram. So you might even write that. You might even write that that's a parallelogram. A, B, C, D. And what's the reason?
It's given.
It's given. All right. Now we can actually get the last thing in here to prove. That goes right. Sorry, that goes on the left here. Triangle AEB congruent to triangle CED. So we can at least do that. We don't know why yet, but we can at least do that part. Is that okay?
Yeah, I see.
All right.
Because
All right.
you're proving that, yeah.
Now, the other thing that's important to do in geometry, and that maybe your teacher said this, maybe they didn't, but you often want to remove lines to make it more clear what's going on here. What do you know about a parallelogram? What do you remember from your previous parts of your course?
That both
Think anything?
sides are parallel.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it so far.
Anything else? Yeah. So there's a 5 or 6 different things there. Let me do this. I'm gonna put in the chat 2 reference sheets that I really like. These are not mine. They're just ones that I found that work really well for the course. So let me go grab those. Chat. All right. Okay. So firing those off now. I really like these reference sheets. You might print them out. You might just look at them. But what they do is they tell you some things about like parallelograms that, you currently don't have down. And I'm not big into memorizing stuff, but geometry is truthfully more like an English class, a lot of memorization. Are you good with like vocabulary words in English
Yeah,
class?
yeah.
It's kind of the same thing here. It's like you make a note card or you do a Quizlet. You are expected to know all this stuff about parallelograms. So yeah, you gave me the first one. Great. There's 5 more. So I would love it if you knew a couple more. That's usually better than none. Opposite sides being congruent's a big one. So that's another thing there. All right. Another thing you can do here with parallelograms is you can draw the diagonal. I call this the Z. That looks like a Z. That's the backwards Z. What do you remember about 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal?
Um, that they never intersect each other or something.
That's true. What do you know about the angle here? I'm going to draw in red. What do you know about these angles?
That they are acute angles.
Okay, that's true. So it's like you've missed this whole part of the course where there's 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal. These are called alternate interior angles. Do you remember anything about those?
Oh yeah, she just said something about that, but she doesn't really explain her assignments well. So
Yeah.
I don't best teacher, so
Okay.
that
Well, yeah, that's not on you. So these are congruent. So like the reason I'm bringing this up, like this proof is a synthesis. They love using that word in math, right? It's a synthesis of triangles, parallel lines cut by transversal, and proofs. Like you got to know how to do all of it. No way to do it without knowing how to do all that stuff. So you might be wondering, well, why is he bringing this up? Well, to prove the triangles are congruent, we're going to use some of this stuff, and that's because we're really trying to prove that AEB is congruent to CED. Okay, we're trying to prove those triangles are congruent. So we're going to need some sides. We're going to need some angles. Do we know that the top and bottom are congruent? And if so, why? Kind of already addressed that.
yeah, because they're the same. They're the same. What is it? Line and angle that are opposites between each other.
Yeah, and in a parallelogram, the opposite sides are congruent.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So that's well, piece one. This Z thing gets us a couple more angles. Gives us like that angle is congruent to that angle, which is
Yeah.
good. And then it
Mhm.
gives us this double angle congruent to this double angle. Is that enough to prove that the triangles are congruent?
Uh, I think that's two, or I think that's three. So I would say so.
So which of these 4 are we using then?
Um, looks like angle side. So
Are,
AAS.
are, so this means it's 2 consecutive angles followed by a side.
Uh, then would it be? I don't know which one to use.
Okay. Yeah, so let me come down here. This is angle, angle, side. Let me show you angle, angle, side. Angle, 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 side, side. This is angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side, side, angle, 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 side, angle. I want you to stare at those and then give me a one sentence why they're different, or why one's one and why the other's another.
Uh, angle side, because if you start from the bottom left, you meet another angle before reaching another side, so that's why it's angle side. And with the one on the bottom, the side becomes in between the two angles, so it becomes ASA, or angle side angle.
Yeah, that was just so well said. So well said. It's a path. It's a path. And yes, the side is between the angle.
Okay.
It's exactly right. There's actually another variation on angle, angle, side. If I just grab these drawings again, let me do that. It's probably the most complicated because it's the least like defined. Oops, that's not good. And I am a little under the weather here, so I sound a little weird, but the path
Uh,
here could actually go the other way, meaning like it could be, excuse me, could be that you're going the other direction as well. That would also be okay.
yeah, okay, I see it.
All right, so back to your problem. Okay, so one more time. Which of these are we using?
Angle side angle.
We're using angle, side, angle. Okay, so guess what 2, 3, and 4 are? Angle, side, angle, or, in any order really, but you have to prove those. So what do you want to do first, the sides or the angles?
Probably the angles first.
Okay, so we can say that, and you got to be really careful with the letters here. How do we say that this one up here, let's go to this one down here. What's the 3 letters that refers to that angle there?
D. Hold on, you kind of, yeah, DGE for
Uh,
that triangle, or are we,
so yeah, the middle letter is the vertex.
yeah.
So let me help here. So DDE is this one right there. I'm trying to refer to. What's a path? D to D to E.
Okay, yeah, I went the wrong way.
Give me the path for this one.
EBA.
Those work. You'd really want to go ABE to be consistent. Now, I mentioned the reason here, it's alternate interior angles. Okay. What's the other angles that are congruent? Give me the letters for these double angles here. See up here, by the way.
So you want me to give them in the order?
Yeah, that would be best.
So wouldn't it be, so I'm supposed to say A is
I want 3,
congruent?
but yeah, but you got to give me 3 letters for the angle because we don't know if A is the big angle. It's this one down here, this one over here.
It would be angle CD, no, CE, no, CDE.
The vertex is the middle letter, so I'm going to help out here. It's DCE
No,
congruent to
A,
DAE.
oh, AE.
Okay, and that's it's alternate interior angles. All right, and the sides are congruent. DC is congruent to AB by definition of parallelogram. Opposite sides are congruent. Okay, let's go ahead and stop there for now.